ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो
ॐ नमो
भगवते
भगवते
वासुदेवाय।
वासुदेवाय. Do the Pangalacharan prayers all together. ॐ
ओम
अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य
अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य
ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया
ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया
चक्षुरुन्मिलितं
चक्षुरुन्मिलितं
येन
येन
तस्मै
तस्मै
श्रीगुरवे
श्रीगुरवे
नमः।
नमः।
श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं
श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं
स्थापितं
स्थापितं
येन
येन
भूतले
भूतले
स्वयं
स्वयं
रूप
रूप
कदा
कदा
मह्यं
मह्यं
ददाति
ददाति
स्वपदान्तिकम्।
स्वपदान्तिकम्।
वन्देऽहं
वन्देऽहं
श्रीगुरोः
श्रीगुरोः
श्रीयुतपदकमलं
श्रीयुतपदकमलं
श्रीगुरुन्
श्रीगुरून्
वैष्णवांश्च
वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं
श्रीरूपं
साग्रजातं
साग्रजातं सहगण
सहगण
रघुनाथान्वितं
रघुनाथान्वितं
तं
तं
सजीवम्
सजीवं
साद्वैतं
साद्वैतं
सावधूतं
सावधूतं
परिजनसहितं
परिजनसहितं
कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं
कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादां
श्रीराधाकृष्णपादां सहगणा
सगणललिता
ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च।
श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च।
हे
हे
कृष्ण
कृष्ण
करुणा
करुणा
सिन्धो
सिन्धो
दीनबन्धो
दीनबन्धो
जगत्पते
जगत्पते गोपेश
गोपेश
गोपिकान्त
गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त
राधाकान्त
नमोऽस्तुते।
नमोस्तुते।
तप्त
तप्त कांचन
काञ्चन
गौरांगी
गौराङ्गी राधे
राधे
वृन्दावनेश्वरी।
वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते
पुष्पानुसुते
देवी
देवी प्रणमामि
प्रणमामि
हरिप्रिये।
हरिप्रिये।
वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च
वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च
कृपा
कृपा सिन्धुभ्य
सिन्धुभ्य एव
एव च
च
पतितानां
पतितानां
पावनेभ्यो
पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो
वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो
नमो
नमः।
नमः। नमः
नमः
ॐ
ॐ विष्णुपादाय
विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय
कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय
भूतले
भूतले श्रीमते
श्रीमते
भक्तिवेदान्त
भक्तिवेदान्त
स्वामी
स्वामी
निति
इति नामिने।
नामिने।
नमस्ते
नमस्ते
सरस्वते
सारस्वते
देवे
देवे
गौरवाणी
गौरवाणी
प्रचारिणे
प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष
निर्विशेष
शून्यवादी
शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य
पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणि। जय श्री
श्री
कृष्ण
कृष्ण
चैतन्य
चैतन्य प्रभु
प्रभु
नित्यानंद
नित्यानंद
श्री
श्री
अद्वैत
अद्वैत गदाधर
गदाधर श्रीवासादि
श्रीवासादि
गौर
गौरभक्तवृंद।
भक्तवृंद। हरे
हरे
कृष्णा
कृष्ण
हरे
हरे
कृष्णा
कृष्ण
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 कृष्ण हरे
हरे
हरे।
हरे हरे
हरे
राम
राम
हरे
हरे राम
राम राम
राम
राम
राम हरे
हरे
हरे।
हरे। श्री कृष्ण भगवान की जय। श्री गोपाल की जय। श्रीमद् भगवद गीता की जय। हरे कृष्णा बापू प्रभु। वेलकम
बापू
बैक।
प्रभु हरे कृष्ण।
So let me share my database. Okay. Do you see my database?
ओह।
Okay. So we'll get started while others join. So we are reading from the ninth chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Rajavidya Rajaguhya Yoga. And last few weeks, couple of weeks, we read that this material nature, how Krishna is all pervading first, and then he said that this whole material nature is controlled by me. So everything, this prakriti or material nature, is working under my direction. Maya dhakshena prakriti suyate sacharacharam hetu nanena kaunteya jagat viparivartate. And this whole creation is created and annihilated again and again under my direction. But then he says in the next verse, last week we read that fools deride me when I descend in this human form. Avajananti mam mudha manushim tanumashritam. Avajananti means deride me, means they think that I'm just like any ordinary person, or they don't realize that I am the supreme personality of Godhead. I am the supreme God. So they deride me when he comes in original human form, because they do not know my transcendental nature and He is the supreme Lord of everything that exists. And then further he's continuing, then today we'll read about how, why they deride and what are the type of person they deride him and what is their outcome. So let's recite this verse. So this is, we are reciting the 12th shloka from 9th chapter. Moghāśā,
moghāśā,
mogha-karmāṇo,
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 mogha-jñānā,
mogha-jñānā,
jnāna,
vicetasaḥ,
vicetasaḥ,
rākṣasīm āsurīṁ,
rākṣasīm āsurīṁ,
caiva,
caiva,
prakṛtiṁ,
prakṛtiṁ,
mohinīṁ,
mohinīṁ,
śritāḥ,
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 moghāśā, mogha-karmāṇo,
moghāśā, mogha-karmāṇo,
mogha-karmāṇo,
mogha-jñānā vicetasaḥ,
mogha-jñānā vicetasaḥ,
rākṣasīm āsurīṁ caiva,
rākṣasīm āsurīṁ caiva,
prakṛtiṁ mohinīṁ śritāḥ,
prakṛtiṁ mohinīṁ śritāḥ,
moghāśā, mogha-karmāṇo,
moghāśā, mogha-karmāṇo,
mogha-jñānā vicetasaḥ,
mogha-jñānā vicetasaḥ,
rākṣasīm āsurīṁ caiva,
rākṣasīm āsurīṁ caiva,
prakṛtiṁ mohinīṁ śritāḥ.
prakṛtiṁ mohinīṁ śritāḥ.
Let's take a couple of recitations. Let's start with Chandrakant Prabhu. Want to lead?
moghāśā, mogha-karmāṇo,
मोघाशा मोघकर्माणो
mogha-jñānā vicetasaḥ,
मोघज्ञानविचेतसा
rākṣasīm āsurīṁ caiva,
Rākṣasīm
राक्षसीं
āsurīṁ
prakṛtiṁ mohinīṁ śritāḥ.
Thank you, Chandrakant Prabhu. Bapo Prabhu, you want to lead?
मोघाशा मोघकर्माणो
moghāśā, mogha-karmāṇo,
मोघज्ञानविचेतसा
mogha-jñānā vicetasaḥ,
राक्षसीमासुरुचैव
rākṣasīm āsurīṁ caiva,
प्रकृतिमोहिनी श्रिता
prakṛtiṁ mohinīṁ śritāḥ.
Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Rajesh Prabhuji. Welcome back. Hare Krishna, Kiran Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Hare Krishna
Hare
Sadhguru.
Krishna Prabhuji.
We just recited the verse. We are reading the synonyms or the word for word translation. So, mogha-asha means baffled in hopes. So, asha means hopes and mogha means failure or defeated or baffled. So, mogha-karmāṇi, baffled in fruitive activities in the karma. Mogha-jñānā, baffled in knowledge. And vicetasaḥ is bewildered. Rākṣasīṁ means demoniac. Then āsurīṁ means atheistic. Cha means and. Eva means certainly. Prakṛtiṁ means nature. Mohinīṁ means bewildering. And śritāḥ means taking shelter of. Translation: those who are thus bewildered are attracted by the demonic and atheistic views. In that deluded condition, their hopes for liberation, their fruitive activities, and their culture of knowledge are all defeated. So those here, Krishna is referring to the previous verse, what he talked about, where he said that avajananti mam modha manushim tanum ashritam param bhavam ajananta mama bhutam maheshwaram. So those who deride Krishna, who do not accept him, that he is the supreme personality of Godhead and he is the controller of everything that exists here. So those are thus bewildered. They are completely lost by their knowledge. They are completely confused, bewildered by what? Their nature of Rakshasi and Asuri. So demonic nature. Demonic nature is given. We will read more in details in the 16th chapter, where it divides into demonic and divine qualities. Daivasura Sampada Vibhaga Yoga. Uh, Daivi qualities and Asuric qualities or demonic qualities. And atheistic, rākṣasīm, āsurīṁ. Āsurīṁ means atheistic. They don't believe in any of the God, and they think that if I am doing everything, that means whatever I am doing is right. And when I do the results, I determine the results. No, there is no controller or anything. So that atheistic philosophy they have. So that type of views. So rākṣasīṁ, āsurīṁ, prakriti, and they are completely bewildered. And that's why in that deluded condition, their hopes of liberation. So the highest asha for everything. So liberation can be at different levels. Liberation can be at physical level, getting free from any miseries. So getting a little bit happiness, working hard and getting some happiness is liberation, or freedom from some kind of anxiety, or liberation from in the mind, that our mind is always in fearfulness or some working with some anxiety and always disturbed. So by different processes that are recommended, they try to get free in the mind. But the ultimate liberation is when you surrender to Krishna. So it is at the spiritual level, because we are not this body, not this mind, not intelligence. We are a spirit soul. So at that level, when we engage in complete service of Krishna, in Krishna consciousness, because that is our original nature. Jivera Sarupahaya Nityera Krishna Dasa. That is the highest liberation. But Asha here, different hopes that they have, they are defeated on that. Then their fruitive activities, karmāṇo. So mogha-karmāṇo, they are defeated in all the projects they take in hand. Sometimes they see some hope or some gain in that, but everything here is temporary and everything is lost over a period of time. And the culture of knowledge, the jnana. So whatever kind of jnana they try to get, and it is all at the mental level. It is all mental speculation. And the real knowledge is what Krishna is giving here in the form of Bhagavad Gita. First thing he is telling that you are not what you are thinking. You are not this body. And then what is your nature in that, in the self-realized state? And considering what is your position, what you should do, what is your real occupation or dharma, that is real knowledge. But the knowledge what we see is just mental speculation, just determining, oh, this is how this works or this is how this works, and eventually that is also defeated. And that's why he's saying that mogha-asha, mogha-karmāṇo, mogha-jñānā. Why? Because vicetasaḥ, they are all bewildered. And they are all bewildered because of their nature of Rakshasi and Asuri. They have taken shelter, śritāḥ. Śritāḥ means they have taken shelter of that kind of nature. They have taken ashray of Rakshasi, that is demonic and atheistic views. So let's read the purport and we can discuss a little bit more. How about Rajesh Prabhu, you join later. Rajesh Anantaraman Prabhu, do you want to read the purport?
There are many devotees who assume themselves to be in Krishna consciousness and devotional service, but at heart do not accept the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, as the absolute truth. For them, the fruit of devotional service going back to Godhead will never be tasted. Similarly, those who are engaged in fruitive, pious activities and who are ultimately hoping to be liberated from this material entanglement will never be successful either, because they derive the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. In other words, persons who mock Krishna are to be understood to be demonic or atheistic. As described in the 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, such demonic miscreants never surrender to Krishna. Therefore, their mental speculations to arrive at the absolute truth bring them to the false conclusion that the ordinary living entity and Krishna are one and the same. With such a false conviction, they think that the body of any human being is now simply covered by material nature, and that as soon as one is liberated from this material body, there is no difference between God and himself. This attempt to become one with Krishna will be baffled because of delusion. Such atheistic and demonic cultivation of spiritual knowledge is always futile. That is the indication of this verse. For such persons, cultivation of the knowledge in the Vedic literature, like the Vedanta Sutra and the Upanishads, is always baffled.
Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay, we have more. Kiran Prabhu, do you want to read the next part?
Yeah, sure. It is a great offense, therefore, to consider Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, to be an ordinary man. Those who do so are certainly deluded because they cannot understand the eternal form of Krishna. The Brahma Vishnu Samhita clearly states, Yo veti bhautikam deham Krishnasya Paramatmana Sa
Sarvasmadvaiskaryah Shrauta Smartha Vidhanatha Mugham Tasyavalokyapi Sachalam Snanam Achare.
One who considers the body of Krishna to be material should be driven out from all rituals and activities of the Shruti and Smriti. And if one by chance sees his face, one should at once take bath in the Ganges to rid himself of infection. People jeer at Krishna because they are envious of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Their destiny is certainly to take birth after birth in the species of atheistic and demonic life. Perpetually, their real knowledge will remain under delusion, and gradually they will regress to the darkest region of creation.
Thank you so much, Kiran Prabhu. So very beautiful purport, actually. Yeah. So let's go through quickly and try to understand what the purport, how it is supporting this. So first of all, the verse says that the demonic and atheistic people who have that kind of view, they are deluded and they will always be defeated in their hopes, their karma or their fruitive activities and their knowledge. So Prabhupada writes here, he refers from 7th verse and then again the Bruhat Vishnu Smriti, few verses here. So there are many devotees who assume themselves to be in Krishna conscious. So they show that they are devotees of Krishna and they are engaged in Krishna bhakti. But in the heart, they do not accept Krishna as Supreme Person. So I have seen actually there are so many people who have deities of Krishna in their home, but they also consider that Krishna was just a historic person. He came, he performed something special activities and something, and then he is now dead and gone. But they don't understand that Krishna is the Supreme God. They accept Krishna as any other God, just like any other God, Ganesha or Vishnu or Shiva or other gods. So that is what Krishna said earlier, that avajananti mam mudha. So for them, the fruits of devotional service of going back to Godhead will never be tasted. So they will never relish or they will never get the opportunity because they do not understand completely who really God is and how other devatas who are working under him. And it is clearly said not only in Bhagavad Gita by Krishna himself, but in many other literatures, in the Vedic literature, it is proven. And it is elaborately, very clearly given everywhere. So they do not get the taste of going back to God here or going to the spiritual world. Similarly, who are engaged in pious activities, fruitive activities though. So the Vedas are created for elevating everyone, irrespective of in what position they are. So that's why there are many fruitive activities suggested, because people do not accept Krishna as God. They don't have that much even intelligence to understand that. And that's why the most part of Vedic literature, or almost 90% sections of Vedic literature, is called karma kanda. Karma kanda means you do certain type of work and then you will get certain type of result of it. But there are different pujas to different devatas recommended, that you do worship this god and you will get this. You worship this because people have lots of material desires in this world. And to fulfill that desire, when they follow the Vedic literature and they perform that specific type of ceremony, ritual, then they get certain type of results. So those are called fruitive activities or karma when you do. But they are still pious activities. They are still considered pious people because they are still approaching some devatas who are actually subordinates of Krishna or agents of Krishna. But because they are worshipping devatas, which is actually worshipping Krishna himself, but indirectly, that's why they can also not get liberation. They will get some material results. If somebody is worshipping, oh, I want to do some ritual or some worship for getting good wife, beautiful wife, or say some girl is doing some worship so that she get a very handsome husband, handsome and very powerful husband or something like that. Or one wants to get some, become a king or control the whole world or one whole country, then he does certain puja. So they may get success after performing that puja or that particular ritual, but because they are considering that gain as the highest goal of life, they will get only that. And again, after gaining that, it is all temporary. So eventually they will have to lose it. Antavattu phalam tesham tadbhavati alpamedasam. So the result what they get, it has antavat. It is going to end someday. And that's what the fruit, phalam, they get. And Krishna calls them, we read this in the 7th chapter, alpamedasam. Medasa means intelligence, the substance, intelligence, brain substance. And which is very, alpa means very little. So those are people with little intelligence, less intelligent. And that's why they don't worship Krishna, but they engage in some karmic reaction. And for they are always engaged in material entanglement. They are not freed from the cycle of birth and death by worshipping other devatas. So that's why Krishna said that mogha-karmāṇo, they are also defeated on the front of all the karmas. Why? Because they deride the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And this is clearly mentioned in the 7th chapter. Krishna said that na mam dushkritano mudha prapadyante naradhama mayaya prakṛtiṁ āsurīṁ bhāvamāśrita. So na mam dushkritano mudha. There are 4 types of people, he explains. They never surrender to me, that Krishna says. Who are they? Again, that mudha word comes. Mudha, one who is murkha or one who is fool or rascal. Mudha, dushkritino. And he is called impious. Those persons are impious. Dushkriti. Namam dushkritino mudha prapadyante naradhama. Nara adhama. One who is lowest among the mankind. And one who is knowledge is taken away by maya. Mayaya aparuta jñānā. One who is knowledge is aparuta by maya. And one who has taken shelter of āsurī bhava. Again, the same word here he is saying, rākṣasīm āsurīṁ. So here in that verse he says, āsurī bhavam āśrita. So those 4 type of people, Krishna says that they never surrender to me. They never worship me. So such demonic miscreants never surrender to Krishna, and therefore they're mental speculators. They are always thinking at the mental level, considering that whatever they are thinking is right. Whatever according to their thought processes, that's what they believe in. Oh, I know what I need to do, and I will do just by my mind. They don't take anybody's authority. Or even if they take somebody as authority, they are not related to Krishna. They are just some mental speculators. So those are called jnanis. So even mogha-jñānā, so even on the front of knowledge, they are defeated, they are baffled. So with this false conviction, they think that the body of any human being is now simply covered by material nature. And once they are free from this misconception, they will become God. So I have met quite a few people that, why are you running after Krishna and Krishna? You are God, I am God, everybody is God. When we get liberated, we all become God. So that type of knowledge. So those are called Mayavadi philosophers, because they consider that Krishna was also under the control of Maya while he was here, and then when he attained some jnana, he was liberated and he became God. But Shastra says that no one can become God. There is one God and everybody is his subordinate. So this attempt to become one with Krishna is baffled because of delusion. They are delusion. And such atheistic demonic cultivation of spiritual knowledge is always futile. It always fails. And further, Prabhupada quotes a very beautiful verse here when it is said how hard our Shastra says about if somebody derides Krishna, what should we do? If we are knowing that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he is the Bhagavan, Swayam Bhagavan, Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. But if somebody is deriding in front of us, then what should we do? That's what this verse is. Yo veti bhautikam deham Krishnasya Paramatmana. So one who thinks, one who thinks that Krishna has also accepted material body, bhautikam deham, Krishnasya. Krishna, even though he is a Paramatma, he has accepted material body, bhautikam deham. Sa sarvasmad bahishkarya shraute smarta vidhanatha. So that type of person, it is said that he should be bahishkari, he should be bahishkrut, he should be rejected. And it is rejected in the shrutis and smritis, shrauta and smrita, vidhanata, completely rejected that type of person. Mukham tad avalokyapi. So if accidentally we see his face, if we do avalokan of his mukham tasya, his avalokyapi, sachelam snanam acharet. That person, even if one sees a face of a person who is deriding Krishna, he should immediately take bath in Ganges to purify himself. Because he becomes impure even by seeing the face of a person who derides Krishna, who says that, oh, Krishna is not supreme person, he's just any ordinary person. So very strong message actually it is said in the Brihad Vishnu Smriti here. And there are similar verses in other Shastric scriptures, our Grantha, those are like this. So this is very, very strong. So it says that one who considers the body of Krishna to be material, that bhautikam deham, should be driven out from all rituals and activities of the Shruti. He should be bahishkarya from Shrauta and Smriti, Vidhanata. So from all the Vedic rituals, he should be completely rejected. That person should not be allowed. One who thinks Krishna's body is material. And if one by chance sees his face, one should at once take bath in the Ganges to rid himself from the infection. That infection of that person's just seeing the face is such that we should take bath in the Ganges to pure ourselves. So people jeer Krishna because they are envious of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That's the very reason we are in this material world. We read in this seventh chapter, Ichha Dvesha Samuthena Dvandva Mohena Bharata. So Ichha and Dvesha, there are two things what we had. We had a desire to enjoy like Krishna, and were envious of anybody who is enjoying, but I am not enjoying like him. But Krishna says everywhere, or no, the literature says that Krishna is the supreme enjoyer, and our duty, our enjoyment is in serving him. But because we had a desire and we were envious of him, and we had a desire to enjoy like him, we have been given opportunity. That's why we are put into this dvandva moha, duality and illusion. So in this material world, we are facing sukha, dukkha, heat, cold. All this duality exists only in this material world. So the destiny is certainly to take birth after birth in the species of atheistic and demonic life. So for such person who are envious of Krishna and envious of his devotees or envious of any other people, for them, they have to be entangled in this cycle of birth and death, and they keep getting birth and death, birth and death, birth and death again and again, and perpetually until they get real knowledge, they will remain under this delusion and gradually regress to the darkest region of creation. So eventually, when they are fortunate enough to come in contact with Krishna's devotee, Sadhu Sangha, so by mercy of Krishna and by mercy of Guru and by mercy of Sadhu, they are elevated and they can take that as an opportunity to elevate themselves and get free from this whole entanglement. Vasudeva sarvamiti sa mahatma sudurlabha. Bahunam janmanamante. Jnanavan. Bahunam janmanamante. After many, many births, one who is in real knowledge that Krishna is giving here, the Divya Jnana, then they understand that Vasudeva sarvam iti. They know that Krishna is the supreme. He is the source of everything. Sa Mahatma Sudurlabha. That Mahatma, that great soul, is very, very rare, Krishna said in the seventh chapter. So let me stop here for this verse and let's take few reflections and then we can read one.
प्रभू तुम्ही म्हटलं की व्हेरी स्ट्रॉंग मेसेज दिलाय कृष्णाने ह्या काय म्हणतात ह्या श्लोकामधून राईट की दो म्हणजे भरकटले गेलेले लोक आहे बेसिकली थोडक्यात राईट हे भरकटलेले त्यांच्या बाबतीत की दो आर नॉट कन्सिडरिंग हिम ॲज द अल्टिमेट गॉड सो फॉर देम this is the message, right?
Yeah, they will be failure in all three fronts. Their moghāśā, so they fail on their any asha they have for growing, getting happiness or getting liberated, everything. Then mogha-karmāṇo, so on their all work, what they are doing. So they will get some result, but it will be temporary and ultimately it will, so everything that is not giving you, taking you ultimate happiness is failure. And even jnana. So in their practice of jnana, they'll be complete failure.
But shouldn't it be two different things? Even for me, temporary mode मध्ये I am saying it's not long term, but temporary. They how can be it a failure? Because if someone is not, let's say, those who are not aware of Krishna, right, and they are there doing their other duties as rituals regularly. So how it will be a failure? Or from fruitive activities, basically they are doing it regularly without recognizing Krishna as the ultimate or super god. So how it will be failure for them in this case?
Very good question. So failure in the sense, it's just like building sand castles on the shore of ocean. So when we build a sand castle, so whatever we are building, it is temporary and it is not taking us anywhere. I am still stuck in the four problems, the real four problems are not solved. What are the real four problems? And many people are not even aware of real four problems. Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi. So if it is not freeing me from that, whatever I am doing, it gives me hope, yes. But because I am completely in ignorance of my own identity and my real goal and what is real happiness, it is considered as failure. Does that make sense? If say somebody is uh, in a prison house and they are working hard to break that, or they are trying to get happy in the prison, and they get, sometimes they work really nice with the jailer and get all the kind of what do you call facilities in the jail, but they are still in jail. Or if even if they get the, and that is also temporary until either, because they still continuously get punishment unless until they recognize that they are in the prison house and they have to get out of that to be really experience the real happiness. Everything that they are working is failure. It may seem temporarily as a success, but from the ultimate perspective, it is a failure. And maybe this example will help. So there are four different categories of people. So one who is unconscious and unintelligent, or ignorant and unintelligent. So when we say unintelligent, they don't have real knowledge, and they are just living here. They are considering themselves to be very happy because they don't have real knowledge. They are unintelligent. But at the same time, they are also unconscious or ignorant. That they are ignorant that they don't have real knowledge. So those are the lowest kind of people. So it's really miserable condition that I am suffering, but I don't even know that I am suffering. That's the worst condition. Better than that is conscious unintelligent. At least he has developed, he's unintelligent and he's suffering in this material world. But at least he develops a realization, yes, I am suffering. He's unintelligent. He doesn't know how to get out of that, but at least he acknowledges that he is suffering. Better than that is conscious intelligent. So person who is aware or conscious of his suffering, and then he has already working on solving those problems consciously. So he knows that he is in trouble, and now he's working. His first thing is he's aware, and now he's also, by intelligently, he's also working. He's found what is real knowledge, and then he's working. And the highest position is said to be unconscious intelligent. So he's intelligent, but he's unconscious. That means he's already applied that knowledge, and it is so ingrained that he doesn't have to think about what he is doing. It comes naturally. Just like I'm tying shoelaces. So in the beginning, first thing, if I don't know how to tie shoelaces and I don't even try to tie shoelaces, my shoes will be, I'll have a lot of trouble when walking, right? If I don't tie shoelaces and I'm not even aware my shoelaces are not tied. But the first level is, now I'm at least becoming aware that my shoelaces are untied. So that's the realization first. And then when he learns to tie shoelaces, he has to make in the beginning effort how to tie shoelaces. But when unconsciously, when it becomes a routine and it becomes natural for him, then how does he tie shoelaces? He doesn't have to even think. It becomes so natural for him that unconsciously even also he can tie shoelaces. In the same jnana, same understanding, this moghāśā, mogha-karmāṇo, mogha-jñānā. So these people, they are so bewildered, but they do not even realize that on all the fronts, in all my hopes or all my work or all my jnana, all fronts, I'm always defeated. They don't even know that they are defeated. Because they are continuously stuck in this cycle of birth and death. They are not they don't even know that they are stuck in they don't know the problem, and they don't know that they are being defeated. Every little thing that they think, oh yeah, I did this, it's success, and then they move on. But that success, whatever they call, is temporary. It is gone. It doesn't help you getting out of your real problems. And if you are not getting anywhere, what kind of success is that? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Little bit, or is it too confusing?
No, not too confusing, but to somewhat extent you are getting what you are trying to say here.
So ultimate success of life is when one gets Krishna consciousness. Actually, the very beautiful verse there is in the Srimad Bhagavatam. एतावान सांख्य योगाभ्या स्वधर्म परिनिष्ठया जन्म लाभ पर पुंसा ante narayana smriti. That Shukdev Goswami, when he is reciting Bhagavatam to Parikshit Maharaj, so at very first chapter of the second canto, so the first Paila Skanda, first canto is setting the scene. So in which the history after Mahabharat war is given, and then Parikshit is born, and then Parikshit is Abhimanyu's son, Abhimanyu and Uttara's son, so all Pandavas' grandson. So he somehow or other he is cursed by a young boy, Brahmana boy, and then the curse is that within 7 days a snake will come, Takshak will come and bite you in 7 days, and you will be killed. So even though Parikshit is a great devotee, he's a great Vaishnava, and he could counter that curse, but he accepts that as a blessing, and then he goes on the bank of Ganga, and he says that now I know I am going to die in 7 days. So he asks all the sages, what is my duty now? What is the duty of a person who is going to die? And that applies to every one of us, because we are also going to die one day. So what is our real duty? At least he knew for sure that he had 7 days. We don't know even if I have 7 minutes or not. So in the second canto, when he starts, Shukdev Goswami starts answering these questions. So the very first chapter, he gives the description of how fertile this life is. And then he says that the highest perfection of human life, what is the highest success of human life? So he says that on all the paths, whatever path you follow, etavan sankhya yogabhya swadharma parinishtaya janma labha para pumsam ante narayana smriti. So there are multiple paths one can choose. Sankhya, one who gets into analytical study of, oh, this is matter. Scientists, oh, this is matter, or beyond scientists, actually, one who are self-realized persons. So they know what is spiritual understanding, what is separate from spirit and matter, and how there are multiple elements in the matter, how soul comes in contact with matter, and how soul is suffering. All this is Sankhya, which we read in the very brief way in the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So even if somebody on the path of Sankhya, or somebody is on the path of yoga, Ashtanga yoga, of getting some Ashtasiddhi, or if somebody is performing their Swadharma, how? Parinishtaya, very nishtha-purvak. He is following all the Vedic rituals and regulations according to given, and he is working hard for getting success in this material world. Nishtha-purvak, very staunch with determination. So even if anybody who is on any of this path, Janma labha means success. Para, the supreme labha of this birth is what? Pumsam means living entities or the human beings. Ante Narayana Smriti. The ultimate success is if he can remember Narayan at the end of life. That's the ultimate success. Anything else in this material world is failure. So that's what he says. The highest perfection of human life achieved either by complete knowledge of matter and spirit, that is Sankhya, by practice of mystic power, that is yoga, or by perfect discharge of occupational duties, swadharma, perfectly performing swadharma in this material world, is what? To remember the personality of Godhead at the end of life. That is the only success defined in this material world, and which we read in 8th chapter of Bhagavad Gita also. Krishna says, Antakale cha mameva smaran muktva kalevaram yah prayati samadbhavam yati nastyatra samshaya. One who can remember me, Antakale cha mam eva, nothing else. One who can remember Krishna at the end of life when giving up this body, he will attain to my spiritual abode. Yati nasti atra samshaya. Of this there is no doubt, guarantee. Nobody gives such guarantee even in today's world. There is no fine line, fine print. So I hope that makes little bit sense what Krishna is saying here now.
Yeah.
So what failure is and what success is.
Right, yeah.
What a human form, particularly in a human form of life. But that's a very important question, because that question coming to mind ourselves is also a very good thing, because then only we get answers. Thank you. Rajesh Prabhuji, you wanted to say something, I heard in between. Anantaraman Prabhu.
No. What I was saying is, he was trying to say it was a strong message, but it was not for those who are not aware. For those who are not aware, the question is completely different. This particular failure aspect is for those who are not believers in God. Me kele. That is definite failure. Because the moment you say me, at some point in time you will find all the wealth, all the treasures of the world it will be happy when you achieve. And then the next day, or very shortly after that, it will become a source of punishment, kind of. For instance, a person who is greedy after money, he makes a lot of money, and then his main worry is how to protect it. So it actually is a failure, because he wanted money, he got it, now he doesn't know what to do with it. That is the kind of failure where Krishna is talking about in bigger perspective. जे अवेअर नाही आहेत त्यांचं काही करू शकत नाही. They have to make themselves aware. So for them the only answer is next janma.
Yeah, thank you,
So,
Raj. And the other, actually, when I said this strong message, that was here actually, when Brihad Vishnu Smriti, that if somebody derides Krishna and accidentally we see his face, then just because we saw his face, we become impure and we have to take bath in Ganges. So this is where I had said that it is a very strong message.
Yes.
So even seeing such a person who derides Krishna or who considers Krishna as an ordinary human being, we become impure. And it is recommended according to this that he should take bath in Ganga to purify himself. So that's what I meant in the strong message. But anyway, both are pretty strong. Yeah. So thank you so much, Prabhu. We are at 10:24 here. Do we want to read next verse? It is kind of opposite of the other people. One who are actually who take shelter of Krishna's spiritual energy instead of material energy. So there are different energies of Krishna. So that's what it talks about. So it is opposite of the previous people, what he talked in the 11th and the 12th shloka. So do we want to continue for some time, or we want to stop here today. We can take more
Oh,
reflections.
yes. I'm okay with either.
Any other thoughts, Prabhuji?
हा प्रभूजी, इनफॅक्ट हा प्रश्न मला खूप आधीपासून पडलेला जो सोनू प्रभूंनी रेज केला. म्हणजे काही लोक आता जे ज्ञानी आहेत आणि भगवद्गीता काय आहे किंवा श्रीकृष्ण गॉड आहे या गोष्टीकडे लक्ष पण देत नाहीत. त्यांच्यासाठी हे समजू शकतं. पण काही लोक असे असतील फॉर एक्झाम्पल की जी लाईफ टाईम ते रानावनात राहतात, तिथे एक देव असतो त्यांचा, त्याचं ते पूजन करतात आणि त्यांना याच्या पलीकडे काहीच माहित नसतं. करेक्ट? तर मग अशा लोकांचा हा जन्म म्हणजे त्यांचं पास्ट कर्माचं फळ असं म्हटलं पाहिजे का, की त्यांना हे काही अवेअर होऊ शकत नाही, की पॉसिबलच नाही या जन्मामध्ये. दिस इज बिकॉज ऑफ देअर कर्मा इन देअर लास्ट लाईफ, and if they do some good activity they may get better life. Okay, they may come in some flow where in the family there could be awareness of Sri Krishna, and like that their life can go on improving life by life.
Yes, that is correct. So we read first, even though such people who are on the path of some worship, so they do not, if they do not accept Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then they are considered as demoniac, asuri. The simple definition of sura and asura is, or daivi and asuri, is given in the Vishnu Puran. Vishnu bhakta bhaved deva asuras tad viparyata. So Vishnu bhakta are called deva, devatas or sura, and asurastad viparyata. Everybody else is asura. So he may be a very staunch devotee of Lord Shiva, he may be a very staunch devotee of Brahma, and the examples are given in our Puranas. Like Ravana, he was a very staunch devotee of Lord Shiva. But because he was envious of Lord Ram, who is Vishnu Tattva, so he is considered as a demon, Rakshasa. Or even Hiranyakashipu. These are the two great examples. Hiranyakashipu was a very staunch devotee of Brahmaji. But they were devotee of them for their own material gain. But he was opposite, or he was envious of not only Vishnu, but even his son who was Vishnu Bhakta, his own son who was merely a 5-year-old boy, Prahlad, he was envious of that. So the difference between asura and sura, or devata and danava, is clearly, simple definition is given, Vishnu bhakta bhaved deva, and everybody else asurastad viparyata. So, but if somebody is not even envious of Krishna or Vishnu, but they are not aware even of Krishna or Vishnu, so what is their destination? So for them, eventually, when the fruits of their results or karma they have enjoyed or suffered, eventually by Krishna's mercy, when they come in contact with some Krishna devotee, or by his mercy they get some mercy from him in the form of they hear Krishna's name, or they get Krishna's prasad somehow or other, or they somehow or other see Krishna's form, and then they can be purified and they can take that as an opportunity and elevate themselves. Because everything, Krishna's, even a smallest amount of Krishna's association or his devotees' association is said to be very, very purifying. Sanketyam parihasyam vyam stobham elanameva vaikunta nama grahanam asheshaga haram vidu. So even somehow or other, Sanketyam means if somebody has nothing to do with Krishna or anything, but if somebody asks him, oh, where is the Krishna temple in this area? I'm looking for it. So he just points that, oh, that's the Krishna temple. So he's just pointing that, or somebody is pointing him, oh, there is Krishna temple. He hears that. Sanketyam. Sanket karun sang. Parihasyam, if somebody jokingly takes Krishna's name, even funny way, because Krishna's name is so purifying that even if somebody accidentally, jokingly takes his name, Sanketyam Pariyasamya, Sobham, even angry mood, if somebody takes Krishna's name for even deriding him, and Helanameva, or for some song, he's just singing Krishna's name, not knowing that Krishna is supreme or anything. Just because somebody is chanting Hare Krishna, they also singing Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Here in Western world, that happens so many times. Vaikuntha Nama Grahanam, just in this anyway, even if accidentally takes name of Vaikuntha, Vaikuntha is nothing but Krishna himself. Vaikuntha Nama Grahanam, Ashesha Agam Haram Vidu. He is purified from his multiple Ashesha, Aganit sins. Ashesha Agam. Agam means Papa. So his many Papa gets eradicated and he is purified, and he gets opportunity to come in contact with Krishna. So all these type of people who are ignorant about all this, somehow or other, when they come in contact with, they are purified and they are given this opportunity, and they can come to Krishna consciousness, and they can use that an opportunity to follow this path. But if so Krishna doesn't interfere in our free will, but he is always trying to help us, because he knows, as a loving father, he knows he's also worried about all his children who are suffering in this material world, and they are also ignorant about that they are suffering. So he's always trying to get their attention on giving them opportunity, but he doesn't interfere in our free will. The little minute free will what we have, he doesn't interfere in that. Even in the end of Bhagavad Gita, when he finishes all the instructions, he tells Arjuna, now I have given you all the knowledge. Have you heard this very carefully? Now deliberate on this and do whatever you think. Yathechasi tatha kuru. Whatever you desire. He is not forcing Arjuna to do something. He's giving him the strong words, giving him all the knowledge, but he's not interfering in Arjuna's free will. That in the same manner, he doesn't interfere in anybody's free will. He gives us this knowledge. Now, Bhagavad Gita, it is available openly. It's an open secret. It's open because it is freely available. It's secret because not everybody can understand it unless they hear it from the parampara. So that is the destination of people who are on the path. They are innocent. So Krishna is always trying to help them because they are innocent. So I hope that helps.
Prabhuji, just my understanding, sometimes म्हणजे आपण जसं म्हटलं तसं लोक श्रीकृष्णाला एक किंवा श्रीराम असतील, श्रीकृष्ण असतील, दे लुक एट हिम ओनली एज they worship him, but they worship him as some like a superpower man or something, means they in a human being. सत्पुरुष किंवा एक त्या ह्याने बघतात. They don't understand that he is the ultimate भगवान. ते करत नाहीत, आणि मग that is where this confusion starts. Means even if there is one set of people who don't believe in God at all, that and for them what is going to be the end, that we all know all very well. But there is another set of people, like even Shantaram Prabhu said, that they worship some but they worship with a feeling in mind that as some kind of a person who is a human being but a superpower kind of a thing. So they don't understand the real meaning of Bhagavan, and that is where the confusion starts, and they also do not get the real benefit. Even if we worship any other god or maybe any other saint, but with the ultimate belief that whatever worship I am doing is for Bhagavan. Whatever I am doing, it is ultimately going to the Bhagavan. Then probably with that kind of a conviction, if we do it, then I think we are still at we are worshipping the Bhagavan and not that god or that person.
Yeah. And that is also good. Krishna says that even those are pious people actually.
Yes.
Because
It's like Shankaram Prabhu asked that those people who are worshipping this kind of god or saint or something, there's nothing wrong in that. They also do it, but ultimately, if their focus is that whatever I'm doing, these pious activities or it is ultimately reaching to the Bhagavan.
correct.
With that feeling, if they do it, I think there is nothing wrong with it.
Yeah. And they have to eventually grow. In everything, we want to grow, right? We don't want to be stagnant in one place. Stagnant is there is nothing
आणि
stagnant. Yeah.
आणि म्हणून आय थिंक आपण एक मागे प्रिव्हियस वर्स मध्ये वी लर्न दॅट means you can reach through these routes also to me. God himself is saying that, Bhagavan himself is saying that you can reach through this also, but I'm giving you a simple way to reach to me. Means whatever you do in a small way also, मला सगळं समर्पित करा and it will directly reach to me. Means there is no need to worship any other one. That also in previous verse I think we read about that.
Yeah. Thank you, Kiran Prabhu. Yeah, thank you for that clarity.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Yes, Prabhu.
Late join झालो actually मी ऐकत होतो, but I agree what you said actually. What Bapu Prabhu has raised the questions, who are really not come in contact with this knowledge. So is it their mistake? Whether, but eventually they will sorry. They will come in contact that means Krishna's who is what is Krishna and what is a goal of our life. All those things will come successfully. But I feel actually if somebody is not getting this knowledge or somebody is not aware of this, it is because of his karma is what I feel so actually. And he will be in that mode continuously, the life after, day after day, the life will pass like that. So, okay, I feel who are aware of this should make aware all the other guys also. Tell them and make them aware what is the actual purpose of the life people. Correct. So these are very good verses actually. But another thing I felt like if you find some atheist like that, you go and take a bath in Ganga. Okay, this is a very strong message actually, really possible or not. Okay. But we came across so many people like that in life actually, who believe, who are not believe, and forget Hinduism, those who don't believe in Hinduism, all are like that. Then it should be treated like that. I mean, they are in their delusionary mode actually. Correct?
Yeah.
So, it's quite a big message in this, I feel so.
Nice.
That's all. Yeah.
Thank you, bro. Yeah, and spreading this knowledge is our duty. Actually, it is said that Bharat.
That's what I feel so.
No, as a person, as a human being who has taken birth in the land of Bharat, that is our responsibility in a way. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Bharat bhumite manusya janma hoila jar, janma sarthak kara paropakar. So, if anybody who has taken birth in the land of Bharat, and when he says Bharat, is the whole South Asian continent.
Yes.
Continue.
So anybody who has taken human birth, Manushya Janma Hoila Jar, his first duty is to Janma Sarthak Kari. He first get this knowledge and purify himself, and then Kara Paropakar. Then try to share this knowledge with everyone else, because people are suffering and they don't know they are suffering. That's the worst condition. It's just like when goat is being taken to be slaughtered, त्याच्या अंगरंग होतात सगळं, then he is decorated very nicely. The goat might feel that, oh, I am very nice, I am king today, I'm very proud that everybody is worshipping me, everybody is giving me every nice food and everything, but he doesn't know that he is being decorated for being slaughtered. He's ignorant of that. So our happiness is like that. One day we are going to be taken away from this body. So that's what it is compared in the Shastra. It's like a goat decorated for being slaughtered. So there are many strong messages in the Shastra. If we talk this, people will not even come here.
No, strong messages, but I also feel that, see, there is a 130 crore population. More than that is staying in India on this area. Still, it is stable and we are growing, and the society is maintained, our culture and all those things. It is all because of this spiritual knowledge, what we are getting actually. And with that, we know what is real dharma and how to follow it. There are countries where is a much lesser population than us. We don't follow us, but you can see the conditions now in those countries actually. Extreme, I mean, like African countries and all. Then they have still they are in this maybe 1,000 years back, still living the life similar kind of a thing there. So they really it's a demonic. I mean, such knowledge has not reached to them. This knowledge has stabilized the society, and really they have shown the what is. It's a nice way to live the life actually. Learning things.
Thank you. Thank you, Prabhuji. By Prabhupada's mercy, I think by his effort, this knowledge is so easily available everywhere, and it is spread all over the world, and Bhagavad Gita is translated over 80 languages and is read. And when we say Bhagavad Gita is translated, it is not anybody's mundane interpretation. It is the Bhagavad Gita as it is, as we are reading, the way Krishna has spoken, and the way we are reading. Because when I read this understanding of Bhagavad Gita, that changed my life. Before that, it's not that I did not read Bhagavad Gita, but I had no understanding what Bhagavad Gita was. But this Bhagavad Gita, or this understanding of Bhagavad Gita, did change, because few things. One, it is, as Prabhupada says, it is as it is, means the way Krishna has explained without adding any interpretation, any addition or subtraction. And that's why this format that helps me understand the way he has written here. For shloka, then meaning of every word, and then the translation. And on top of that, the Bhaktivedanta purport, where he quotes so powerful messages supporting that verse to clarify it from other shastras.
Yes.
So this is very beautiful, and it has changed lives of so many people all around the world. People who do not understand English, forget about Sanskrit. Sanskrit is completely, I don't understand Sanskrit. I am fortunate that I read Marathi, and that's why I can understand little bit Sanskrit.
Correct.
But people who don't even understand English, they have become staunch devotees of Krishna. So imagine how much, just by coming in contact with not directly Prabhupada, but by the book he is spreading, it changed people's lives.
Yes.
So see the power of Bhagavad Gita when it comes from a right source, a pure devotee like Prabhupada. It shows its effect. And that we are seeing all around the world now. So, yeah. So I think, we are already 15 minutes over. So I think we'll stop here. But this is all good discussion. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. We'll see you all next week.
Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you.
Thank you.